That's right, Natasha. So as Ramadan begins, so has that deadline passed that we would see the Rafah operation. This is at least what Israeli War Cabinet Minister Benny Gantz has routinely and repeatedly said over the past month, that they're trying to put pressure on Hamas to reach this deal before Ramadan began, to return some of Israel's hostages, or at least agree to return the hostages at a certain point. But after Hamas walked away from the table last week, we certainly have seen the fighting ongoing. That does not mean we have seen it yet in Rafah. We've seen Israeli airstrikes. We've seen an increasing intensity of Israeli airstrikes in Rafah over the past couple of weeks leading up to an imminent Israeli operation. But we remain to see when exactly that operation will begin. So far, we do not have Israeli boots on the ground in Rafah, but we do continue to see the Israeli military confronting Hamas and Hamas targets in various different parts of the Gaza Strip. The vast majority of that focus does remain to be Khan Yunis. And as we talk about the Rafah operation, the consensus was always that after the IDF did finish up its work in Khan Yunis, the last stronghold, the last place where the military needed to go to try and complete its war gains of trying to defeat Hamas was to go inside Rafah. But we have seen the Israeli military continuing to fight on the ground in Khan Yunis. These are described as very intense and close quarter combat exchanges between the Israeli military and between Hamas on the ground. And these exchanges have gone on for weeks now. We do continue to see the Israeli military pushing further west in Khan Yunis. Right now, the primary focus of their efforts are in the Hamad and El Qarara areas, but so far they have not completely dismantled the Hamas brigades in Khan Yunis. And besides Khan Yunis, we have also continued to see Israeli military fighting in the northern part of the Gaza Strip. We can see Israeli airstrikes as well as Israeli artillery firing throughout the day, as well as Israeli naval units who are firing from the coast into parts of the northern Gaza Strip that they have already wrapped up the operations, that is the Israeli military, months ago.
Mary, obviously we're, hearing a lot of international concern regarding the humanitarian crisis in the Gaza Strip. Today saw airdrops and humanitarian aid airdrops from Morocco in collaboration with Israel, but we're also now hearing reports that Hamas-linked websites are warning Palestinians against working with Israeli security forces trying to essentially protect aid convoys that are going into the Gaza Strip from looting.
That's right. So this was an idea that was floated by the Israeli military about a month ago to try and tap and arm some of these local clans inside the northern Gaza Strip that would serve to replace Hamas working in the governance sector of the Gaza Strip, to try and to restore some order to the northern Gaza Strip. It's been described as complete lawlessness and chaotic scenes in the northern part. Try and arm them, some of these families who are not connected to Hamas. But of course, these reports coming out exactly telling them not to do so. This is a major challenge for the Israeli military as they do try and work to facilitate these aid drops, but also at the same time dealing with the total lack of governance.